Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nasze programy oferują wiele języków. Prosimy zobaczyć suprememastertv.com/schedule.
The massive structure that once housed millions of ants covered 50 square meters and extended 8 meters deep into the ground. To create such a colossal work, the ants had to move 40 tons of soil to the surface. Please continue watching to find out more.
Yate is the way to say hello in Navajo, one of the languages spoken in the Navajo Nation. Literally, it means it is good. Delightful viewers, I am Kai, a vegan honeypot ant living in the proud Navajo Nation. All the sociable and friendly ants from my homeland wish you and your beloved ones peace and happiness. Welcome to our show, Amazing Ants and Their Cooperative Communities. We ants have been around for more than 130 million years, or since the early Cretaceous period. Today, there are about 14,000 species of us, and an estimated 10 quadrillion ants live on the Earth. You can find us everywhere except Antarctica. As social beings, we all live in colonies of various sizes, from just several ants living in a twig to super colonies with many millions of individuals. We are peace-loving beings that never compete with others in our colony. Our members always help and do whatever is best for the whole community. Are you surprised that we don't have a leader telling us what to do? We automatically share the labor and divide ourselves into groups to perform different tasks. In a typical ant colony, there is a queen who is much larger than all other nest members. The queen's primary function is to populate the colony by laying eggs. She is the mother of all the ants in the nest. Even though she is called the queen, she never gives orders or directs others on what to do. When a colony is mature and ready to develop new colonies, it will produce males and future queens, and both have wings. The male ants have small heads with large eyes, long antennae, and small mandibles. Their only function is to mate with the future queens, then pass on afterward. The newly mated queens fly off to suitable places and drop their wings. They dig a hole and start laying eggs inside. The queen stores sperm in a pouch in her abdomen, which she will later use to fertilize her eggs. She continues laying eggs for the rest of her life and may live for 15 to 30 years, depending on the species. She may lay thousands of eggs in her lifetime. The eggs develop and the growth stages include changing into larvae and then pupae. Finally, they become adult ants. As soon as the colony's first group matures, they go out to get food and dig the nest for the colony. The queen never comes to the outside world again. Aside from the queen, a typical ant colony includes numerous sterile females known as workers. These laborers are responsible for building the nest and keeping it in order, finding food, looking after the brood and queen, and safeguarding the colony. Their lifespan can be between 1 to 3 years. Each worker ant joins a group of ants that perform only one task. Yes, we cooperative ants get our jobs done amicably and efficiently through dividing our work among different teams. One set of ants takes care of the offspring, cleans the eggs, and feeds the young. Another group leaves the nest to forage for food, hence the name foragers. Yet another team expands, cleans, and repairs the nest. Stanford University's professor of biology, Dr. Deborah Gordon, and other scientists have studied a seed-eating ant colony in southeastern Arizona, USA, for 30 years, and in the process carefully documented the different functions colony members carry out daily. Very early each morning, the worker ants, called patrollers, go out and verify the trails that the foragers will later follow are safe. Returning to the nest conveys the message to the foragers that it is okay to leave home and gather food. The foragers will then travel along the pre-scouted trails, searching for seeds for a distance of up to 20 meters from their home. When nourishment is discovered, it is brought back to the colony and stored. The midden workers collect the colony's refuse and pile it up. Most ant colonies stretch deep underground. Some even reach as deep as 8 meters below the surface. An anthill is made up of dirt, sand, and other materials that the ants removed while digging the underground tunnels and chambers that comprise their nest. The nest maintenance workers carry tiny bits of dirt in their mandibles and deposit them outside the anthill's entrance. Wonderful viewers, we'll pause for a constructive message. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to Amazing Ants and their cooperative communities. Let's find out more about fascinating ant colonies. Curious to know more about the inner structure of our underground homes, scientists decided to excavate an abandoned ant nest in Brazil built by grass cutter ants. The researchers pumped 10 tons of cement into the deserted anthill for 3 days until it was filled up. It took weeks to remove tons of earth with the help of mechanical diggers and uncover the subterranean megalopolis. The massive structure that once housed millions of ants covered 50 square meters and extended 8 meters deep into the ground. To create such a colossal work, the ants had to move 40 tons of soil to the surface, which would mean the workers had to run billions of times, carrying loads of mud weighing 4 times as much as themselves. It is a miracle equivalent to building the Great Wall of China. The edifice has underground highways connecting the main chambers, and the ants had lined the chamber walls with moist soil that dried to a kind of adobe-like surface. Off the main routes are side paths. The roads branch and lead to many former gardens where the ants grew fungus for food. The structure was built in such a way to ensure proper ventilation and provide the shortest transport routes. Ants don't usually spend their whole life performing only one task. We play different roles according to our age. Young workers remain in the nest to take care of the brood. Once they grow a little older, they join the construction team to excavate and repair the nest. Finally, they become foragers, going outside to search for food. We ants are smart and adaptable animals. When the situation changes, we can easily switch from one task to another to handle an emerging incident. Being flexible serves us very well. For instance, when there is extra food needing collection, the midden laborers, nest maintenance workers, and patrollers can all become foragers, helping to harvest the food. If rain or flooding destroys part of the nest, colony members may change their function and participate in the rebuilding project. If more patrolling is required due to some disturbance on the trail, the nest maintenance workers will switch duties. You must find it surprising that each ant figures out what to do by herself, allowing the colony to quickly cope with various environmental changes. While no ant knows how many foragers are needed, and with no one telling anyone what to do, how does the colony manage to adjust the numbers of workers performing each task? Well, we ants have a particular way of communicating with each other through which we sense what needs to be done. While humans speak to each other and use body language to communicate, we create pheromones, each containing a scent message to inform others. Other ants decode the meaning using their antennae. For example, once an ant discovers a food source, she would lay down a scent trail to help other foragers join the collection effort. When they carry food home, they can add more pheromones to strengthen the signal. As the food quantity declines over time, the foragers release fewer pheromones. As you can guess, the weaker scent would indicate the lessening of the supply and helps others decide whether it is worth a trip to gather food by following the path. We use pheromones to communicate on a wide array of topics, from identifying nestmates to telling others how healthy we are, to alerting the colony of intruders. Ants coming in and out of the nest constantly make antennal contacts, and thus each one can tell whether the other ant they connect with has been outside and what task she is doing. How often an ant meets ants performing a particular job may determine what actions she will take in the future. For example, a forager in the nest doesn't leave until she has had enough interactions with returning food-bearing foragers. When there is more food available outside, foragers will return home with food faster, and thus even more foragers will go out. It's time for me to go back to work now. It was my pleasure to show you how typical ant colonies function. We hope you have been inspired by our cooperation and unity and wish you high spirits and good health. Peace-loving viewers, thank you for joining us for our show today. Coming up next is Tim Cole 2's Love Will Win, Part 5 of 9, on Between Master and Disciples, right after noteworthy news. May heavens bless you with harmony and peace of mind.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/AW.